Hi, my name is Ronnit Bendavid-Val, and I'm the Vice-President of Horticulture and Landscape here at Mount Auburn. Today we're going to be talking about trees. So here at Mount Auburn, there are about 5,000 different trees and 650 or more species and cultivars of those trees. They're scattered all throughout our 175 acres, and they provide a beautiful canopy that covers much of the property. Mount Auburn's trees are cared for primarily by an in-house team of arborists. Starting from when they're planted as small trees, they receive regular structural pruning to make sure that they grow up with the kind of structure that will last many years. In addition, there is inspecting and scouting for pests. There's more and more invasive pests in recent years due to climate change, and we have to really stay on top of the scouting to make sure that we can address them. We are a accredited level 3 arboretum. It is considered a tree collection, and we care for it as such. For some of our older specimens that are really magnificent and noteworthy, we make an effort to add other types of care that'll help us manage their health. For example, they may have a ring of wood chip mulch around the base that helps mitigate water loss, evaporation out of the soil, and also with our new tree plantings, we minimize planting perennials and annuals up close to the trunk of the tree for the same reasons, and we don't want to disturb the soil once the tree has become established. Trees can be taken down for a number of different reasons. First of all, trees, like every living thing, do age, grow older, and decline. And there will come a time in a tree's life where it becomes structurally unsound. It may be hundreds of years. I mean, it's not something that happens quickly. If a tree becomes structurally unsound in some way, one of the ways that can happen is storm damage. So if we get a big storm coming through and a very large tree loses a number of its major limbs, maybe the leader, and becomes structurally unsound, maybe get a crack down the middle or something like that. Another reason we may remove a tree is pest damage. One example is our hemlock collection, which over recent years became infested with hemlock woolly ADELGID, as has pretty much every hemlock in the region and beyond. And we do have a maintenance strategy, but we had a few hundred hemlocks, and it was simply unmanageable. So here at Mount Auburn, there's a lot of different factors that play into that. From year to year, we do watch closely how many tree removals we have to do, and try to balance that out with how many trees we plant in a similar year. We want to try to maintain a fairly consistent tree canopy that's part of maintaining a healthy forest, but the actual types of trees may change. For example, if we have 150 red oaks and we have to remove 3 of them, we may choose to plant 3 white oaks instead to have some diversity. Since we are in a cemetery, we have these amazing monuments throughout all the grounds, and that is part of our calculation, is the protection of those monuments also. Another aspect that we look at is our overall collection. If our collection already includes a lot of oaks and a lot of different kinds of oaks, but not that many maples, then we may choose to replace an older oak with a new maple. When we talk about collections, we're also having to keep in mind availability of specific trees. And we're also trying to keep in mind the effects of climate change. Of course, as living things, trees are also part of the planet's cycle of life. And trees are actually a very substantial and important part of that cycle globally. They cover, I think the tree canopy covers something like 30% of all the land mass. Forests in general account for about 45% of the carbon sequestration that happens, which, as we're all learning more and more about, is so important for helping to manage the effects of climate change. But beyond that, they have this really important habitat role. They provide food and home and protection for a diverse range of plants in all different climates, from mammals to birds to insects, even reptiles, and on depending on where they are. Hi, I'm Ronnit Bendavid-Val. I'm the Vice-President of Horticulture and Landscape at Mount Auburn, and I hope you learned a little bit about our trees here today.